Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're gonna try on something different. Not quite as, well, eye-catching as a bellhop's outfit, but just as crucial to a hotel running smoothly. We're talking about the Night Auditor.
And let me tell you, it's way more than just, hanging out in a quiet lobby.
Right.
You might picture some light paperwork, maybe,
Yeah.
but think about it, those late-night guest requests. Or even just that feeling of being the one in charge when the rest of the hotel goes quiet. It's a weird mix of responsibility and, you know what, a little excitement too.
Okay, now you've got me hooked. Our listener today is thinking about this career path, maybe even applying. We're using RoleCatcher for info, that career platform. They've got a career guide, Night Auditor thing, and it says this job is like being the guardian of the hotel's pulse overnight. So what does that actually look like, day to day? What all does a Night Auditor do?
That's the heart of it, why this job matters. Imagine, daytime, the hotel's buzzing, guests in and out, staff everywhere. Then everything changes. The Night Auditor comes in, and it's about making that change smooth. From crazy busy to, well, nighttime quiet. So you're dealing with late check-ins, any guest issues that pop up when everyone else is off, and just generally making sure the hotel's secure. You're like the captain after a long day at sea, making sure everyone's safe and sound.
Ah, okay, so it's not all about the numbers. There's a lot of customer service happening too. This guide mentions overseeing night customer care, which sounds like a bigger deal than I thought. But speaking of numbers, RoleCatcher does mention the financial part of it. I mean, right there in the name, Night Auditor. What's that really about? Are we talking serious accounting here?
It takes someone who's sharp, pays attention to the little things, that's for sure. The RoleCatcher guide uses the term financial integrity. Basically, you got to make sure every dollar the hotel made that day, it's all accounted for, everything's accurate, verifying room charges, incidentals, balancing those accounts, making reports. You're basically closing the books for the day, setting things up for a smooth financial start the next morning.
So, balancing the books. But for a whole hotel, huh? I get why being detail-oriented is so important. But what about these flexible work hours RoleCatcher talks about? That sounds kind of nice, but working when most people are asleep, that's got to be different. What are the good and, well, maybe not so good parts of that kind of schedule?
You're right. It's definitely not your average 9 to 5. That's a big draw for a lot of night auditors, though. The RoleCatcher stuff, especially the Night Auditor FAQs, they talk about how this job makes you independent, able to rely on yourself. You're mostly on your own, making calls, solving problems, with more freedom than you'd have during the day. If you like things calmer, less structured, it can be really rewarding.
Makes sense. Takes a certain kind of person to not just handle, but actually prefer working when it's quieter.
But what about when things, well, aren't so quiet? We've all heard those crazy hotel stories, right? How does a night auditor handle a difficult guest or something unexpected when there are fewer staff around to help?
That's when a night auditor really earns their stripes. RoleCatcher actually emphasizes this in their stuff about handling escalated guest issues and emergency situations. It's all about thinking fast, staying calm, and figuring out solutions on the spot. Remember, a lot of times you're the only one a guest can turn to at night. Knowing how to calm things down, reassure people, and find solutions by yourself, that's essential. Sounds tough, but also kind of cool. Like you're the hotel's secret weapon there to save the day. Speaking of which, this reminds me of a time. Okay, maybe not exactly heroic, but it made me appreciate night auditors. Imagine this. 2:00 a.m. Just got in from a long flight, starving. Vending machine's empty, no more room service. I'm thinking I'll be living off stale coffee till breakfast. Suddenly, the night auditor appears like some kind of food magician and whips up a delicious snack. Maybe not in the job description, but it shows you how resourceful and dedicated they can be.
I love it. Sometimes going the extra mile means getting creative, really wanting to help. Any good night auditor will tell you those qualities are crucial.
Totally. We've talked about the night-to-night stuff, but what about the bigger picture? What's the career path look like for someone starting as a night auditor? Could this be a stepping stone to other things in the hospitality world?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher actually gives some good info about career progression in their career stages section. Here's the cool part. The skills you learn as a night auditor, solving problems, communicating clearly, handling customers, staying cool under pressure, those are valuable everywhere. Lots of night auditors move up to management roles in the hotel, like front desk manager, guest services manager, even higher.
Right, you're seeing how everything works from the ground up.
Exactly. And even for folks who eventually go to a different industry, that night auditor experience, it's gold. Those core skills, everyone wants those. RoleCatcher makes a big point of that.
So being a night auditor opens more doors than you might think. It's not just the job itself. It's about building skills that'll serve you well no matter what you do. It's kind of cool how this job, which might seem, I don't know, really specific at first, can actually give you skills for so many different careers. Shows you the power of learning by doing, especially in a fast-paced world like hotels, right?
Totally. And that's where resources like RoleCatcher can really make a difference. They don't just tell you about the job. They give you actual tools and advice to help you use your skills to find a job.
And you know I love a good toolkit. What really impressed me was their interview prep stuff. Seriously, RoleCatcher ace your interviews with tailored questions and AI-powered practice. That's what it's called, right? Those tailored questions, the AI practice, that sounds like a game changer if you get nervous about interviews.
Oh, for sure. Those resources are top notch. And don't forget about their other one. What was it called? RoleCatcher Streamline Your Job Search, Integrated Job Boards, and CV Analysis. That's the one. They've got those integrated job boards, CV analysis. It's amazing. Over 120,000 practice questions, a resume builder, skills analysis, all in one place. Talk about a secret weapon for your job search, right?
It's like they thought of everything. Man, I wish I had RoleCatcher back when I was starting out.
It can make a huge difference, honestly. That kind of personalized help, it just boosts your confidence, Helps you put your best foot forward no matter what job you're going for.
So true. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of the Night Auditor, I think we've learned it's a lot more than meets the eye. It's a mix of customer service skills, financial smarts, and knowing how to handle curveballs.
And that sense of quiet control, being the one who keeps things running when everyone else is asleep. Don't forget that.
Absolutely. But here's something to think about. It's from that alternative titles section of the Night Auditor Career Guide. What other jobs, ones that you might not expect, could use similar skills as a night auditor, even a similar kind of schedule, like maybe an ER nurse or someone who does security analysis, even working a crisis hotline, makes you think about how different jobs can actually have a lot in common, even if they seem totally different on the surface.
Now, that's a great thought to leave our listeners with. There are so many possibilities out there, and sometimes the path that you'd least expect turns out to be the best one.
Couldn't agree more. Big thanks to our expert for breaking down this unique career, and to you, the listener, for joining us on this deep dive. If you're feeling inspired, do yourself a favor and check out RoleCatcher. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.